Alright, welcome back to the Game Smash Podcast. As always, I'm your host, William Liberty, and with me is...
Ahmed Yusuf.
And today we got a pretty packed podcast. We got PlayStation Plus and games with gold. We've got Pokken Tournament. We've got Xbox Early Access. Division announcing factions. And then we're going to be covering the MGS 5 E3 2015 demo that we didn't really get to talk about last couple podcasts. But I really want to talk about it because it was cool. But anyway, let's start with what we played this week. Fawaz, so I played a couple things.
Okay.
So I downloaded Roy for Smash, which is the new Fire Emblem character as the DLC. He was really cool. He's like a fire warrior kind of deal.
Okay.
Kind of reminds me a little bit of Ike in some ways, but he's a little bit faster than Ike.
Okay.
So he's kind of like if you want a little more power than Marth, but little less slow than Ike, you get something like Roy, and he's really really cool. But yeah, so there's that, and that's a pretty cool character to play with, and I like him. And then the other thing I played is I downloaded PlanetSide 2.
Oh.
And because my quest to find a shooter that I actually enjoy again. And I went out and I just sort of went, I don't know, maybe I'll try this out. And it's pretty good. It's free to play on PlayStation 4. There's a couple problems that I have is that when you start the game, you have to choose a particular faction. You know what I mean? Like it's there's either like these higher purple faction, there's the red faction, and there's a blue faction, and they all have like different little abilities and whatnot, right?
Okay.
But the only problem is that a lot of people have sort of joined the red faction. Because they just have they have the most damaging guns. They're slow, but they have really damaging guns. And I guess it's sort of become a situation in which the players that play the game that are on the red team, there's so many people that are on the red faction that it kind of outnumbers all the other factions a lot. So there's a lot of situations in which the red factions are dominating. But it's definitely a fun game, and the one thing I do like about it, though, is the last game I played that was free to play like this was Blacklight. And the thing that I hated about Blacklight is that I've never felt I was unlocking anything.
Okay.
Because everything's on trial. Like you unlock something, but you only unlock it for a day or something like that. Whereas this game, you do gain currency from like getting kills and whatnot. It's a little bit slow, but when you unlock something, you get to keep it.
Okay.
Which is a big deal to me. Like,
well, I mean,
yeah, yeah.
I usually like keeping things that I unlock. I don't know about everybody else.
Yeah. So I actually am having a lot of fun with it. It's pretty good. So I'm probably gonna play a little bit more of it and probably give my verdict on it later. But yeah, so far so good.
Okay.
The gunplay is really neat, and I like the vehicles and whatnot. But yeah, so what you been playing, Fawaz?
I've been playing Borderlands 2.
Oh yeah, that's right. I saw that on your feed. So gotta ask, what you think?
It's actually a lot of fun. Okay, like I have some gripes with it that I'll get into.
Okay.
But it's like at a basic level, it's a lot of fun. The dialogue was actually really funny because I played Borderlands 2 for a little bit on my PS3 when it was free, and I didn't make it very far, and I didn't really enjoy it. But one of the reasons I didn't enjoy it was because of Claptrap. I hate that robot so much. And here's the funny thing is that I stopped playing right at the spot where you never have to talk to him again. So like I'm playing on the PS4 and I'm like, really? If I just waited one more mission and I've never had to deal with this guy? But it's a lot of fun. My gripes with the game though is that the first one is the fast travel system is shit.
Yeah, it's kind of laggy and loady, and it's...
No, not that. It's just that, okay, you know how in Skyrim you can fast travel, like, from anywhere that you are, you can fast travel to any location you found, right?
Right.
Okay, so this doesn't work like that. It's...
Select locations.
you can fast travel from select locations to select locations. The problem is that some areas have more fast travel locations than others.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of, okay, so it's pretty much using the Witcher 3's fast travel system. But the reason why the Witcher 3's fast travel system works is because you can't walk 5 minutes without finding a thing that you can fast travel from. That's number one. And number two is that you can summon your horse from anywhere. So
Yeah.
like say you're stuck somewhere and it's a bit of a walk to the next fast travel location. You just whistle, Roach comes, you ride him, and it lowers the travel time. But in Borderlands 2, you can only summon cars from specific car summoning locations as well. So there's certain missions that I just didn't do because
Yeah.
I looked at how far I had to walk and I was like, screw this, screw this. I'm not like. Let me explain how bad it is. There was one mission that I completed, and then
Mm.
instead of because I completed it and then I had to walk all the way back, right? Instead of
Right,
walking
right.
all the way back, I just committed suicide, so it would respawn me at where the fast travel thing was. You know, every time you die, you get charged money. I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
even
yeah.
care. I was like, I'd rather get charged money than have to walk 10 minutes to turn in this damn objective. And the other thing is that whenever I am going to do an objective, you can start. I told you, the car summon locations are more are there. There's more of them than the fast travel locations.
Mm-hmm.
And from every car summoning location, you can teleport to a car that you can teleport to your car, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So whenever I'm at one of those locations, I always summon two cars. So I
Mm-hmm.
use one to go do the objective. Then when I finish the objective, I drive to a car location, and from there I teleport to the other car.
Oh, okay, yeah,
And the fact that I have to do all this shit just shows you how bad the fast travel system is.
yeah.
But with all that said, the game is a lot of fun. Like
Yeah.
I played the Necromancer. She can summon this little robot and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, she's a lot of fun. The loot system is kind of whack, at least because there's three difficulties. On the lowest difficulty, you don't get a lot of good loot. But I just
Yeah.
started a second playthrough on the higher difficulty, and it's already looking better. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, the game is fun. Definitely two thumbs up. I'm looking forward to beating all the raid bosses if
Oh,
I
yeah.
can get some nice co-op partners. And yeah,
Yeah, I might even think about picking up the game.
Yeah.
If it goes to a little bit in price, but yeah, like, because how
Well,
much is it
it's
at
on
the moment?
it's on sale right now at EB Games for $40.
Hmm.
Yeah, I definitely recommend it. I got it full price on the PlayStation Store, but it's on sale at EB Games for $40.
Hmm.
You get Borderlands 2 and you get the Handsome Collection. You get all the DLC, and
Yeah.
it's a
You
good
get a lot
bargain.
of content for what you're paying for.
You get a lot of content. Yeah,
I guess the
definitely
only reason why I'm a little bit hesitant to is that I kind of already bought Borderlands 2 and a bunch of the DLC for the PS3, so I'm kind of like, I don't know.
Okay, no, in that case, I probably wouldn't recommend this.
Yeah. Oh well, but yeah, definitely interesting. Cool. Well, let's get into some news. PlayStation Plus announced their games for July. A couple different games: Rocket League, Styx, Mousecraft, Entwined, Rain, and Geometry Wars. As far as when I was looking at a lot of the games, I was like, okay, fair enough. I remember being really interested in Rain when I was seeing trailers for it a long time ago. So I might actually try and pick that one up, and I think Geometry Wars is a pretty simple, fun game. But what did you think of the lineup for July?
Well, the funny thing is, I heard about Rocket League it's like 2 months ago. They
Mhm.
released this one trailer announcing that Sweet Tooth was going to be in the game as well. At the time,
Yeah.
I'd never even heard of the game, so I was like, okay. And then I watched the trailer; it looked interesting. And then I watched some videos of the beta, but I wasn't sure if I was going to buy the game when it came out. And then they announced July's PlayStation Plus lineup, and it was free. So I was like, well, that answers that question. I started playing it last night. It's hard. So like what the game is, it's pretty much soccer being played in cars.
Right.
Yeah, like that is the game. There's nothing else to it. And I was just going through the training mode. There's a bunch of tutorials. There's one for playing goalie. So like they fire shots at you and you have to save them. There's one for scoring, and I didn't touch the last one. But yeah, the tutorials were difficult. So I mean, I imagine playing against good people is going to be even worse.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I'm definitely I'm gonna try to sink some time into it. See, see how it is. The servers were down last night because the game just launched, so why not?
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
mean that's the next gen tradition at this point. So
Well,
because
I think that was just poor timing because I think there was a maintenance thing for the PlayStation Network in general that was recent.
oh, okay, okay. I don't think so because Helldivers Online was working. So I
Oh,
think
okay, yeah,
I
yeah,
think this
yeah.
was their servers being down. But then Styx Master of Shadows, I watched the review of the game after it got announced that
Mm-hmm.
I'd never heard of this game until it was in the PlayStation Plus lineup.
Right, right,
Apparently,
right.
it's a really cool stealth game, but when it launched, the controls were shit.
Oh,
Like,
okay, yeah, yeah.
yeah, the platforming controls were like exceptionally bad. But apparently, a patch has been released. I haven't been able to find a review that I haven't been able to find an updated review of the game.
Mm-hmm.
But if the patch actually fixed the control, because the dude that was reviewing the game was like that, it's really he's really sad because this game is one of the best stealth games he's ever played, but the controls are awful. They're absolutely awful.
Mm-hmm.
So if the patch actually fixed the controls, I'll definitely be giving it a shot. The rest of the games I'm not interested in at
Mm-hmm.
all.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. I mean, like it's sort of like it's kind of I find this like for what was weird is that there was not one game in this list that was kind of like big standout, like
Yeah.
like a $60 game, like or something like
Yeah,
that.
I've heard like the people who have played Rocket League have said that the game is amazing
Mm-hmm.
once you get into it. So
Yeah,
I'm interested to see how that pans out. But yeah, I definitely agree with you. They've been slacking for a couple of months. They called it last month, but prior to that, we had like 4 straight months where I don't think I downloaded anything.
mm-hmm. I mean, like
Yeah,
the last game I did do, I downloaded the Ground Zeroes,
yeah.
and I did do that. So I was actually really happy that that was free, because that's kind of like the closest price that game should have been. but
Yeah, let's
but
not get into that
yeah,
again.
yeah, yeah. But let's move on to games with gold. They announced Assassin's Creed Black Flag, Gears 3, and Plants and Zombies, or Plants
Oh,
vs
and
Zombies.
yeah, Plants vs Zombies, and there's one last game, So Many Me,
Oh, okay,
which
yeah,
I
yeah, that one, yeah.
yeah, it's like a puzzle, it's a charming puzzle platformer starring Philo and his brand of misfit clones who must use their wits to overcome devious traps. Anyway, what's it called? So yeah, not a bad month for Xbox One. I mean, they got to make up for giving them Pool Nation FX for like 3 friggin' months.
Yeah,
But
but
Assassin's Creed Black, sorry.
yeah, but I was about to say because it's like Assassin's Creed Black Flag and Gears 3. Yeah, those are two pretty good games. Two pretty good games.
Yeah, pretty good games. I mean, Black Flag. I mean, but better Black. I mean, sure, Black Flag is over a year old, but better Black Flag than Unity.
Yeah.
And Black Flag is generally considered one of the better Assassin's Creed games. So I mean, I wouldn't mind getting Black Flag on the PS4. Is what I'm saying. Hint, hint, Sony. If any of you are
Yeah.
watching this podcast,
I really want Black Flag to be on PlayStation Plus because like it's one of those Assassin's Creed games that people have said, yeah, this is one that gets a lot of people back into the series because it does something
yeah.
really new and different.
Yeah, and then Unity came out, but I digress. And then
Yeah.
Gears of War 3, that's not bad for the Xbox 360 owners. I played a little bit of Gears of War 3 back when I had my 360. The multiplayer was a lot of fun, but most of my friends had stopped playing Gears by the time this game came out, so I didn't have a lot of people to play with. When
Yeah.
I did play, the multiplayer was fun. I think multiplayer wise, it is the best Gears of War. It's just that a lot of people were just tired at that point. It didn't
Yeah.
add the multiplayer didn't add it. It didn't add a whole lot new to the multiplayer. It wasn't like Gears 2 that added a bunch of new modes, new features
Mm-hmm.
like meat shields and all that stuff. But
Uh,
yeah, it's pretty
yeah.
fitting since Ultimate Edition is coming out soon and they announced it last month. So they,
Mm-hmm.
released Gears to like get people interested in the
Yeah,
franchise
yeah,
again.
yeah. Get
Yeah.
people like re-interested in the series. You know, that's the best way to do it. Yeah, I liked aspects of Gears 3. I really liked the Horde mode. The Horde mode was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fond memories of that. But it was very similar to 2. But I liked the fact there was bosses in 3. Like in the horde mode, when you got to
Yeah.
round 10, it would be like a random boss, and it could be like a giant like colossal dude or like a spider dude or whatnot. I forget the names, but yeah,
Robot.
I like the variety. So that was a
Oh.
lot of fun. But yeah, I think overall, I think gold gets it this month. With those,
Yeah, I
yeah.
definitely think. But you know what? Hey, my opinion might change after I played Rocket League. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. So moving on to that, Pokken Tournament announced some new characters. We got Weevil, who's a fast and slashing character, and good old classic Charizard.
Charizard.
Charizard. Yeah.
Yes. So I'll let you take first swing at
Oh, it's her
this.
first swing. All right, here we go. All right. Weevil is okay. Here's the thing. Weevil is part of the Pokemon line, like Weevil and whatnot. I forget the other names of his evolution line, but he's one of my favorite Pokemons because it's just everything about him is like super fast and ninja-like. Like I have a really fascination with all the ninja Pokemons in this game. Like I love Greninja from X and Y. So
Yes.
I really like seeing like ninja characters, and when I was looking at his combos, they're all fast and sidestepping and sweeping and moving, and yeah, I really like how he plays. He plays exactly how I would think a Weevil character should play. And then Charizard was also really really good. I like the fact that he obviously some aerial combos. You know,
Yeah.
like it makes sense. He's got freaking wings. Like if he didn't have air combos, that would be ridiculous. So,
Yeah.
but he also looks really, really good. But yeah, overall, I think these are two definitely really good characters to add to the lineup. But what did you think so
Uh,
far?
yeah, they looked cool and everything, but what looked even cooler was the gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, cause you know how they show some previews of the gameplay. The game looks a lot tighter. Cause
Yeah.
we spoke about some gameplay that they showed like a little while back, and the game, yeah, it still looked like it looked more like a good idea than a good game at the time. But
Mm-hmm.
watching these trailers, the gameplay looks a lot tighter. Granted, these are trailers, so it might be
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I definitely think they're good additions. I thought it was cool that they added Charizard's
Oh yeah,
Omega
his Mega Evolution.
Mega Evolution. Thank you. His Mega Evolution, but it looks like it's just like a special move. It doesn't look like he can like actually Mega evolve and
Mm-hmm.
be playing as that version of himself. It looks like it's just like his finisher or something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
But I thought that was cool anyway. But yeah, man, it looks good. I'm looking forward to. Oh, we also got a release date actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's coming to Japanese arcades July 16th.
Ooh, really? Wow, that's a lot sooner than I thought it would be. Huh.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's Japanese arcades, so it's gonna like it's gonna be a while before it comes stateside,
Yeah.
if it comes stateside at all. But yeah, that's I'm looking forward to seeing more gameplay of that and hearing more information about it. Like I'm really interested in this game, despite the fact that I don't own a Nintendo console. But
Right.
it looks really cool. It looks really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I'm definitely excited, and obviously I wanted a Pokemon fighting game for a really long time.
I
So
think everyone has wanted a Pokemon
yeah.
fighting game for a very
And like
long
I mean,
time.
hell, even fans like I've seen this really great 2D fan made Pokemon fighter that it's like it was literally made by a fan and it looks really really good. And I'm excited to see that there's more love being put into this. But yeah, definitely excited. And then moving on from that, we got Xbox Early Access. So I'm gonna let you take this for a while, just because you have a little more info on it.
Okay, so it took me a while to actually find like concrete information on this.
Mm-hmm.
So if any of the stuff I say is incorrect, don't hold it against me. Just feel
Yeah.
free to correct us in the comment section. But what I've gathered from what I read is that this is gonna be like the Steam Early Access like the Steam Early Access program
Mm-hmm.
where you can play games before they come out. But
Mm-hmm.
unlike you don't have to pay. Every single game on the early access is going to have a demo that you
Yeah.
can try out. You can give the demo a shot, see if you like it, and then if you're feeling it, then you can pay and you can play it early access.
Mm-hmm.
The games that are going to be the first few games that are going to be in the program are Sheltered, Daisy, The Long Dark, and Elite Dangerous.
Yeah.
None of which I've ever heard of,
Oh,
but no,
Daisy, come
no,
on.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
God.
I've heard of Daisy, but and Elite, but the other two I haven't heard of before.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I think this is a really cool idea. It's like I mean, it all hinges on the type of games that are in the program. You know, if it's, I mean, at the end of the day, if it's a program that's only supported by like games nobody gives three shits about, then I
Hmm.
mean it doesn't matter. But then, you know, if for like, for example, what's that game called again? Oh shit, one sec.
You could do it.
Invisible Ink.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Invisible Ink was in early access for like a year.
Hmm.
So like a lot of people were playing the game, and because like the game wasn't out yet, but I was seeing reviews online, and I was like, how did this happen? And
Hmm.
it's because it was on Steam early access. So like if this lets Xbox One owners play certain, I mean, even if it's only indie games, if it lets them play certain indie games a little while before they come out,
Hmm.
I can see, I can see this being very good, especially you know, if implemented properly and if the right games are given, and if it's supported by the right games. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, like I mean, like it looks pretty cool. There's obviously, I hope they make better decisions than Steam has with early access, where some early access games were not even finished, like not even like even remotely close to being finished. Um, and I'm worried about that to a certain extent, but I think overall it could work out well. Honestly, how I usually like early access games, or how I feel early access games should be done, is you should be able to have the game at least 75% done, or like mostly done, like pretty much close, and take a nice completed section of the game and allow people to play that part.
Yeah. So like a
Because
demo.
yeah, exactly. But the thing that what happens is that there's some, like, don't have it so that the player can continue playing to points that are broken, because that's
Oh.
that's bad. And I've seen a lot of early access games have that problem where it's like people get past all the nice stuff and then they keep going farther, and then eventually they start finding all the broken stuff that wasn't even finished. So
Okay.
so that's my only concern. But interesting idea nonetheless. Nonetheless.
Yeah.
But now we're gonna move on to the Division. So the Division announced a bunch of new factions for the game.
Yes.
And it seems to be a couple, like there's one faction called the Cleaners. They walk around like the dark zone and clean up the streets, kill off all the people, stuff like that. They talked a little bit about home bases and about NPCs in the environment. But overall, it looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. But what are your thoughts so far, Fawaz?
Yeah. It's I think I think a lot of people share this sentiment that they're just not sure what the division is. But
Yeah.
hearing about these factions, because they've been talking about how the game is like an RPG, but it's been looking like a third person shooter. Every demo they've shown, it looks like a cover based third person shooter. But then hearing about these factions, because like there's the JTF, which is the Joint Task Force.
Yeah.
It's made up of like police officers, the like the fire brigade,
Yeah. Yeah.
all those
Yeah.
people, you know, the good guys,
The good
quote
guys.
unquote.
Yeah.
Yeah, and uh they're fighting a war against the cleaners and the Rikers, and you can help them out by like capturing police stations, which they can use as like bases of operation. And they can give you quests. Then the cleaners are the flamethrower guys that we saw in the gameplay demo. They just run around and they're trying to purge the virus, so they
Right.
burn everything. And then the Rikers are like escaped prisoners, and so yeah, those are the factions. So this is, they also mentioned that there's going to be like random civilians that you can run into, none of which will be in the dark zone.
Mm-hmm.
So there won't be a lot of them in the dark zone, because the dark zone is a really dangerous place,
Yeah. Yeah.
as the
Yeah.
E3 demo showed.
Right. Of
But
course.
you know, the game is this is like the first bit of, other than the loot system. This is okay. This is another bit of like RPG stuff that they've shown of the game, because almost everything else that they've shown is just like third person, cover based third person shooter shit. Like I
Mm-hmm.
still don't know if there's gonna be like a level up system, if you can like, if you're gonna, you know, there's gonna be skill trees and stuff like
Yeah. Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the trailer looked good. There was also a story trailer that was talking about, you know, what the dark zone is and why all the good loot is in there. But yeah, overall, it's I still need to, it's weird that we've seen so much of this game,
Hmm.
but we still know so little, which could be which on one hand I don't mind, because like this is what
Yeah,
I said about Bloodborne, right?
yeah,
They showed us a lot of Bloodborne footage, but we didn't know shit about it
yeah.
until it came out, right?
Right, which was
Like we saw
good.
like,
It played into
yeah,
his favor. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. But then on the flip side, this is Ubisoft, so that could mean that this game is going to come out and it's going to be hot, hot, hot garbage, and so I guess
Yeah.
time will tell.
The
But
biggest thing that I have is that from what I can tell, it seems like it's going to be like an always online. You log onto a server and
yes,
you join your faction and you explore the world, you upgrade, you go into the dark zone, you shoot some guys, save some civs, stuff like that. And I can understand there's like an RPG aspect to it, but my biggest concern is that I know that a lot of the multiplayer Ubisoft experiences are
broken.
a little bit broken and a little bit laggy. So something this gravios, I guess, or gravitas, I don't know the word. I'm trying to be fancy here. But something this big. Yeah, I just gave up there. Yeah, wow. Okay, something this big, I feel might be a little bit too much for them to take on. So we'll see how it goes when it comes out. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
definitely won't be buying it at launch. I'll
Yeah,
definitely give it some time
yeah. Give
to
it some
see what
time.
other people are saying about the servers and all that shit before I decide to pick it up. But
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
it looks like a good idea, and Ubisoft have had quite a few good ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully this one actually plays out.
Yeah. I'm still way more interested in Rainbow Six Siege at this point, though, to be honest. Like, personally. Because I have a history of Rainbow Six. That's the thing.
Yeah, hopefully we can actually complete Terra Hunts this
Yeah,
time.
yeah, there's a dream. All right, but last on our list, and I'm excited to talk about this. It was the Metal Gear Solid 5 E3 2015 demo, and oh man, it was good. It was pretty good. So I gotta talk about a couple things that they showed from the demo that I watched. So like first off, they show off the helicopter that you're in.
Yeah.
And you're just sitting in the helicopter, you're looking around, and they shows off like pictures on the wall. It shows where your gun is, just hanging on the top. It shows your buddy who can either. I think what they've announced pretty much the buddy system is basically you can pick a co-op, not a co-op, but like another partner that you control to help you. It can either be Quiet, that's the sniper,
Yeah.
DD, who's the wolf dog with the eye patch, which is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. You can pick between a horse. I don't know the horse's name, or you can pick against a walker type robot that is insane. But
Okay.
but they all look really really cool. They showed up like there's tons of customizing your weapons. You can put silencers and grips and red dot sights, all kinds of different little things on different types of weapons and whatnot. But there are a couple like tiny little things that I thought were crazy. So the one thing that's gonna make me personally probably explore every single nook and cranny of the game is there's cassette tapes that you could find on the maps that have songs on them, right? And the
Yeah.
best part about that is that when you find these songs, and they have a timeline, right? So it's all 80s songs. So it's classic 80s hits,
Okay.
and you can collect them, and then you can set it so that when you go on a mission, you can have it so that when you're landing, the song is playing on the helicopter as you're landing, and when you get the evac and the helicopter comes to pick you up, you can hear the helicopter calm down and the song will still be playing. And it's amazing because you can do the final countdown and have the helicopter pick you up, and the final countdown is just blazing in the background.
Uh,
Oh my god! And I love that. And also
that
some
is really cool.
yeah. And the other thing that I also really thought was interesting was there's certain I guess just normal missions where you can actually send in you can actually play as different characters.
Oh,
You're not limited to playing as Snake.
oh, okay.
So that's really interesting. So it's like, okay, maybe I don't want to play as Snake this time. I want to play as this like secret agent girl or something like that, right? You
Okay.
can play as her instead. And I thought that was really, really cool. There's other couple different things. Like they showed off all the like capturing hostages. The mission that they showed that I thought was just nuts was you get there and it's a bunch of Russians that are in this like ruins, right?
Yeah.
And you go in and you knock out one of the Russians and you go to interrogate them and he starts speaking in Russian. However, you don't understand them. So the only way to understand how they're speaking is you have to capture the Russian interpreter so that now you can speak Russian, or not speak Russian, but someone can interpret the Russian that they're speaking, right?
Okay.
And that I thought was nuts because I think that how it's going to play is that when you go to all these different areas, like if you're trying to eavesdrop on people, unless you have an interpreter that you've captured, you're not going to be able to understand what they're saying.
That is pretty cool.
That was nuts. And the other couple things I thought were really cool was you can actually, when you start a mission, you can choose when and where you want to drop and what time. So for example, I want to do this mission during the day, or I want to do this mission during night, right?
Okay.
So you can choose that. So if you want to do a sneaky night mission, or you want to do a day mission, you can choose. So there's so much different like options and availability. And the other thing that I thought was absolutely nuts was on the fly. You can in a mission you can go to your like little like droid handheld thing.
Okay.
And go to your options and it'll be like, all right, I've collected some resources, some money. I want to upgrade a sniper rifle to be a silent sniper rifle. It's like, all right, cool. Now I want that sniper rifle, so I'm going to call in a drop zone where a helicopter's going to drop a box with my new upgraded sniper rifle in it.
Nice.
So it's like you could literally go, I'm going to put all my points into this cool weapon, and then in the middle of the mission have that drop in. Like,
that is pretty cool.
Yeah, it was just so much crazy customization. Just it looks like there's going to be so many different ways that you can handle situations. But what did you think so far, Fawaz?
You sound so excited.
Oh, I am.
No, I couldn't finish the demo unfortunately, but the bit that I watched was intense. I watched the one where he took Quiet. No,
Yeah.
he didn't take the robot. He took Quiet.
Yeah.
And it was pretty cool because he like scouts out the place and then he picks a spot for Quiet to hide out and cover him with the sniper.
Right.
And then like he sees a patrol and he shoots one of the guys. Quiet shoots the other guy. Then he sees like a group of dudes and he tosses a stun grenade in there and Quiet shoots the grenade and then knocks them out. And then when he's moving to a different spot, he tells her to move to because she won't have a good she'll be able to cover him from that location. So he picks a different location for her to go to, and it was just really cool. It was. There's all this preparation that you have to make before the mission, which I like.
Yeah.
I really like that aspect of it, and then it looks amazing. I can't lie. I'm just hoping that the story isn't, because I'm not a big fan of Metal Gear stories. I know. That's not true. It's not the story that I hate. It's the fact that that every character takes like 2 hours to say something that can be said in 30 seconds. It pisses me off.
It's a double-edged sword because there's a weird charm to it in a weird way where a lot of the dialogue they're saying is kind of ridiculous and it's very long. But I have noticed because I did download Ground Zeroes, right?
Yeah.
From what I've noticed, what I like about it is that it seems like a lot of the dialogue is coming in like over the radio. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So you're playing and they're talking. So it's there's no like sit down and watch like a 20-hour cutscene or something like that.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Yeah, and the other reason why I'm more interested in this one is that from what people have told, from a lot of the demos and whatnot, you can kind of come into this with a less knowledge of the Metal Gear series than some of the other games. Because the problem I had with like Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots was you had no idea what was going on if you had not played the other 3 games. Like, no idea. And, like, my friend might be listening to it. He's told me so many times, why didn't you buy MGS4? The customization and the options and all the crazy stuff was great. And I was like, yeah, that was great, but there was no way I was going to pay like $60 for a campaign story in which I would have no idea what was going on, like at all. And what I like about what they've shown for MGS5 is that it's sort of like it seems like you can get into the story without necessarily having to know everything.
Yeah.
And because of the cassette tape system, you can learn all the stuff that you've missed. So if there's tiny little details that you like, for example, they did this in Ground Zeroes where it's like you need a little bit of a backstory of some stuff, listen to a cassette tape and you'll gain some information about it. So it's like it basically gives you the ability to learn about the other stories without having to have to buy the other games.
Yeah, and you can listen to the cassette tape while you're playing, right?
Yes.
Like you can be playing in the background while you're stealthing about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that definitely sounds interesting. And yeah, the fact that it's an open world game probably means that what's this thing called? That they're not going to be like 7-8 hour cutscenes in this one because nobody has time for that in an open world game. Seriously. But yeah, I'm honestly, because it's funny. This is one game that I've not followed at all. Like the most time I've spent following this game was when the Konami Hideo Kojima bullshit was happening. Because I really didn't enjoy MGS4, so I wasn't even going to bother. But I couldn't find anything to talk about for the podcast this week, so
of course.
I was
just throwing that out there. Okay, go for it.
Let me check out this MGS5 that everyone is on about, and yeah, I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did. It looks amazing, and it looks different.
Yeah.
I mean. Like, we don't have a lot of stealth games. We had the Blacklist on last gen consoles, which is pretty cool, by the way. If you haven't tried it out, I definitely recommend it.
Okay.
It's a lot of fun. But this is, I mean, there's not a lot of stealth games. So yeah, this is. I'm very interested. I'm very interested to see how. And this is going to be probably going to be Hideo Kojima's last Metal Gear Solid game, which means this is probably going to be the last Metal Gear Solid that anyone gives a damn about. So I'm definitely excited. Yeah.
I really want this one to be really good because it's pretty much going to be it's going to be his last MGS, and I really hope he finishes on a high note with this series, because I know the series is probably continue, but it's not going to be the same, and it's not going to be this interesting.
It's not going to be the same without him.
But anyway, I think we're going to have to wrap it up here, so don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And if you leave a comment in the comment section, we'll make sure to answer in the next podcast. And as always, this was William Liberty and...
Fawaz Muhammad Yusuf.
We'll see you guys next time.